Court has struck down a law passed by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's far-right government to weaken its powers. In January 2023, Netanyahu's government, the most right-wing in Israel's history, proposed making a series of changes to the country's judicial system, leading to unprecedented mass protests. In Israel, the Supreme Court always had the power to declare laws passed by the parliament, known as the Knesset, as unconstitutional. However, the government proposed a bill that would weaken this power in three major ways. The first is taking away the Supreme Court's power to declare government decisions as unreasonable. The second is allowing the Knesset to override Supreme Court decisions with a majority vote. And the third is changing the committee that chooses Supreme Court judges so the government can control who is selected. The government said these measures are necessary because the Supreme Court, which is made up of unelected judges, has too much power over elected politicians. But protesters and critics say the changes weaken the Supreme Court's independence and give the government too much power. Protesters say this could allow the government to further its right-wing agenda, including constructing Israeli settlements in Palestine's occupied West Bank. There are also concerns that the changes would shield Netanyahu from a corruption trial he's currently facing. Netanyahu was forced to pause efforts to push through the reform in March due to the scale of the protests. But in July, the parliament passed the first part of the reform, stopping the Supreme Court from declaring government decisions unreasonable after the opposition boycotted the vote. The decision was met with more mass protests, which turned into the largest and longest in Israel's 75-year history. The Supreme Court then announced that it will review the new law by hearing appeals against it. And on Monday, January 1st, 2024, the Supreme Court struck down the law by a majority of 8 judges to 7. In their ruling, the judges said that the law severely damages Israel's democracy. Netanyahu's party said the decision was unfortunate and opposed the will of the people for unity, especially during wartime. The ruling could deal another blow to Netanyahu's government, which is under pressure for its response to Hamas's attack on October 7th and its subsequent failure to rescue all the Israeli hostages. Follow for more updates on the situation in Israel.